How did you do so well in terms of getting your elevator pitch down, getting your value prop down, and getting the conversation down where that in that 20, 30 minutes, people knew instantly, hey, Maury's a fit for this, or I can refer you to this other person. How did you do that?
You helped me personally with that because we got together early in the process, and it is practice. And boy, I made a lot of mistakes because I didn't think through the steps of the process right. It sounds simple now to me when you talk about it. First step, hey, what do you want to do? I mean, tell me what you're looking for. You'd be surprised how many people stumble on that first question. Well, when you're networking for your next opportunity, you have to be able to fold that in the conversation. I had to figure it out, for one, and then I had to learn how to tell that story in a succinct, clear manner. So find the right process. Second, practice, 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 and then move on and just go into execution. There's nothing like going out and trying it with people, and you'll get it better each time. You'll be able to match your skills and background perhaps more readily to the opportunity or the needs that they have. If you're just selling just to sell, that's not going to work. You've actually got to be able to think on the fly and match you to them.
You talk about preparing your elevator pitch, being prepared with connecting the dots, having good questions, really understanding how you might be a fit for their company. How did you do it in such a good way that you got that job really quickly?
In all honesty, we got together because I was not doing a good job at it. I was networking, what I thought was good networking. I was tapping my network. I was tapping people I didn't know. I didn't have the right message, so I wasn't doing a good job at it. How I ended up being successful at the transition was I got the storyline right. I learned how to tell it. I learned how to connect the dots from me to what their needs are, not just what I wanted. At the end, the process works. You get those fundamentals taken care of. And yes, it did happen fairly rapidly for me after that. And in fairness, look, had been a senior executive in defense. I'd run my own telecom. So I wasn't a newbie at these things, but I wasn't doing a good job until I got down to the process.
What role did LinkedIn play in your job search? You were already an active user, but what changed when you started working with CareerNerds in the way you used LinkedIn to engage with others?
Probably a couple of things really changed. One, having the right profile. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you do need to check some blocks that I didn't understand what they were. Today, LinkedIn is your business card. And probably some of my early mistake was I tried to make it too much like a resume and not about really current and forward thinking. So I had to work on the profile, the format, and things like that, the technical part. And then I had to work about what I wanted to say. What do you want to present?
You spent 21 years in the Navy. Obviously, very proud of that. You were a Navy fighter pilot, but then you had a lot of jobs after that. And we got your LinkedIn profile on the Navy experience down to about 4 or 5 lines. The thing I see with most people who have military experience, 10, 20 years, is they want to put every single job, but that's not going to be as relevant if you already have corporate experience. Tell us about why that was important and how did that impact your profile?
Well, you got to think about the purpose of what you're using it for. If you're out in a transition and you're trying to match your background and skills and desires to what's out there, you've got to orient your profile for that. You've got to connect it to the looking forward. It's not a historical resume. I've seen some lately, even within the last few days, I look up on it. Who are these people? What do they do? Where do they live? And you look and they go, it shows 22 experiences. And a lot of these experiences were 4 months at a time. That is not a good signal to send to somebody who's out hiring. I'm not looking for somebody who wants to work for 4 or 5 months and roll to something different. I'm looking for people who want to join the team. You've got your past, it is what it is, but you got to temper what you're showing and what you're conveying through your LinkedIn profile.